Man, I know a lot of people are probably wondering what happened at the end of SmackDown Live tonight. I know a lot of people are feeling the same way that I was going into SmackDown Live tonight, where we would finally crown number one contenders for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. First, I want to say, I think WWE should really start focusing on tag team wrestling. I don't care what it takes. I don't care if it's one of those hot, cold things with Vince McMahon. You should never stray away from pushing and featuring tag team wrestling, especially if it's done in the way that we seen tonight, and if it's done in the way that we see in NXT. Because people really do invest in a match like we seen in the main event of SmackDown Live tonight. People invest in a match like we seen with Mustache Mountain and the Undisputed Era. People invest in a match like we seen in Chicago at TakeOver with Lorcan, Birch, and the Undisputed Era. Tag team wrestling could make superstars who are really not given the opportunity normally to rise up and really prove something to the viewing audience. That's exactly what they did in Chicago with that match with Lorcan, Birch against the Undisputed Era. And I mentioned this time and time again. You look at Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, who were they? The casual fan that's watching the main roster would be like, Oney Lorcan? Who is that? Why is he even here? Why is he getting a tag team title shot? But those guys work pretty damn good together. Pretty damn good together. And then you have feuds like we've seen on the main roster with the New Day and the Usos and how great that was and how it got to a personal level. Who is the best? We've seen it at NXT with the Revival and DIY. The matches that we got from those two teams. I don't understand why WWE doesn't push tag team wrestling at all, and only when they want to, or when they deem it necessary. The New Day beat the Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro, in the main event of SmackDown Live tonight to go on to SummerSlam and challenge the Bludgeon Brothers, Harper and Rowan, for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. A lot of you guys are probably wondering why. Before tonight, I was going with the Bar. But also, with going with the Bar, you're probably going to get a sour matchup as far as fan interaction and fan reaction. Because they are two heel tag teams. The Bludgeon Brothers would not be able, outside of their in-ring work with Sheamus and Cesaro, possibly. I really can't tell. We said the same thing about the Authors of Pain and Sanity when they went head-to-head for the NXT Tag Team Championships. We all thought that putting two heel tag teams together in that type of situation for the NXT Tag Team Championships, that it really wasn't going to turn out good. And it ended up being a very good tag team match with the fans actually getting invested in Sanity by the end of that thing, who are heels going up against a dominating heel tag team in the Authors of Pain. It could have had that type of atmosphere. But this is WWE main roster we're talking about. This is the Bludgeon Brothers that we're talking about. A lot of people are in the same boat when it comes to the Bludgeon Brothers, that they have no charisma. There's nothing about that team that really speaks to them as far as, why should I care? So putting them with the Bar, who are great at what they do, it's a huge risk. It's a huge risk for WWE to put those two teams, being heel tag teams, in a big championship match at SummerSlam. More than likely would have been a pre-show match. I don't think the New Day and the Bludgeon Brothers are going to be a pre-show match. If you look at the tag team championships on SmackDown and Raw, more than likely, if I was to choose one of the two to be on the pre-show, it would be the Monday Night Raw Tag Team Championships, because they are absolutely dead in the water. That title is absolutely worthless to everybody. And that show, that division, has done no favors for those tag team championships. The last time those championships were actually important was when the New Day and the Bar, coincidentally, were fighting over and battling over the tag team championships. Balor versus Corbin will probably be on the pre-show. I don't think the Bludgeon Brothers and the New Day are going to be on the pre-show. You need at least one tag team match on the main show, and I think WWE has given us that match tonight. The reason why the New Day beat the Bar and advanced in this finals of this mini tournament that they had going on is because they are the babyface team. They are a team that could make the Bludgeon Brothers look good in their right role. They could be portrayed the way they need to be portrayed as ruthless heels against the overwhelmingly, odds-on favorites here with the fans in the New Day. New Day is over as fuck. I don't need to sugarcoat any reason why the New Day won this match. They are over. They are hot baby faces. And they are the right choice to go to SummerSlam right now after what I've seen tonight with the investment from the Orlando crowd. I think New York is going to be the same way, and I think the New Day is going to go on to win the tag team championships. I really do. And the reason why I say that is because with the titles on the Bludgeon Brothers right now, we aren't getting competitive tag team wrestling. The Bludgeon Brothers are keeping them warm for a team like the New Day. The Bludgeon Brothers were given the tag team championships to at least have that gimmick pay off and prove to Vince McMahon that it wasn't a complete waste of time. After they lose the championships, I don't know where they go from there. Maybe they could be slightly repackaged. Maybe they could be presented in a better manner. I don't know. But the title's going back to a babyface team at this point after what we've seen tonight kind of diverted my original opinion from the Bar to the New Day. I think the babyface team of the New Day is going to win the tag team championships, thus giving us matches like we've seen tonight. I think the New Day and the WWE is relying on the New Day to bring tag team wrestling on SmackDown Live back to a competitive nature. The New Day versus the Bar. The Bar could go back and forth with the New Day. The Bar versus the Usos. I really do wish WWE would present more teams and push more teams to the forefront to get them out to the audience. You know, Usos versus Sanity for a possible tag team championship. Sanity versus the New Day. I think the WWE has the right idea for the tag team division. Now it's actually taking that idea and putting it in action. The Bludgeon Brothers have seen their day. And the reason why the Bar didn't win is because a heel versus heel team would not have bode well for them at SummerSlam. WWE went with the safe route. WWE went with something that they knew would get a reaction for the Bludgeon Brothers and a reaction for the tag team championships. I think the New Day, after everything that we've discussed up until this point and after what we've seen tonight on SmackDown Live, was the right choice. Do I think the New Day deserve another run at the tag team championships? No. Absolutely not. I think they've seen their day. I would much rather see teams be presented that we haven't seen in that spot yet. But for the time being, if the New Day want to be transitional champions to get them back on the Bar in a match like we've seen tonight, I am all for it. And you know how WWE wants to push the initiative. You know how WWE wants to break records. The New Day are going to continue doing this year after year after year. They want the New Day, not only as ambassadors for the company, but they want the New Day to be one of the best, if not the best tag team in all of WWE. In the history books. They want the New Day to go down as the most tag team championships ever for any tag team in that company. That's exactly what the WWE is doing here. And it's been reported for many, many years now. And that's exactly where they're going. I could definitely see it happen. So that's my take on the New Day and the Bar. In a fantastic main event match, the New Day go on to SummerSlam to challenge the Bludgeon Brothers for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. I want to play this before we even talk about what he said. And I mentioned this on yesterday's, not yesterday, actually I mentioned it on this weekend's Off the Script, as far as WWE handling Randy Orton's heel turn and how they are carefully constructing what he does, what he says, and how he's portrayed. I said it on last week's SmackDown Live, And I'm not sure what WWE has included on their YouTube channel with this Randy Orton promo. I'm not sure how much of it they cut. But I said a certain something in my SmackDown Live review last week that WWE put scripted into Randy Orton's promo. Now, they're probably not watching me. I don't want to inflate my ego already to what you guys think I am as far as ego goes. I don't want to inflate my own ego. I don't want to come off as like Mr. Know-It-All. But I do find it to be quite the coincidence that the way I worded it is the exact same way that Randy Orton worded it in his promo on SmackDown Live this week. I'm going to play Randy Orton's promo. I want you guys to listen to it here live on the SmackDown Live review. Randy Orton vows to destroy the WWE's favorite superstars. And this is what Randy Orton said to open SmackDown Live.
I made a vow to take out, to destroy every superstar that you put up on a pedestal. I made a vow to alter their lives, end their careers, and dismantle their precious identities that you love so much. I will become so violent that you will want to change the channel.
Exactly what I said. There's no better heel than what he just said.
You won't change the channel because you people still believe. You believe in superheroes. You believe in hope. As a matter of fact, right now, you hope that your superhero, Jeff Hardy's gonna come down to the ring and save the day, but he won't. He won't, because I erased the enigma. Jeff Hardy is somewhere lost right now, searching for his identity that I took last week. I erased the enigma, and I will erase every superstar that you people respect, which is another reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. I don't get the respect that I deserve from you. I don't get the respect that I deserve from everyone in the back. Let me back up for a minute and give everybody a history lesson on Randy Orton. When I started my career here, I was the youngest man in that locker room. I went on to become the youngest world heavyweight champion ever. I've won the world title 13 times. I have main evented WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank, Survivor Series. I have won them all on multiple occasions, but you still don't respect me.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Sometimes in life, when you're not given respect, you have to take it. Sometimes in life, you have to make choices. You've all made your choice. All of you have made your choice, and so have I. And that means that I will erase every superstar that you choose to believe in. Starting with Jeff Hardy, piece by piece by piece. But it's not my fault. You can't put this on me. This is on each and every one of you.
Oh, man, I love it. I love a good heel, man.
You can call me what you want. Apex Predator, Viper, you can even call me the Legend Killer, but the only thing you need to refer to me as is the three most destructive letters in sports entertainment, and that is RK.
Oh, man. And the fans eat it up. The fans eat it up. The guy just cut a fantastic fucking heel promo about how nobody respects him. But the crowd cheers along when he says RKO. I can't tell you how great it is to see Randy Orton back doing what Randy Orton does best. Not giving a fuck. And I sat and I watched this. I listened to it. I smiled from ear to ear. Randy Orton probably will be on his own as a destructive force on SmackDown Live, but it made me think. It got my creative juices flowing about what they could possibly do with Randy Orton on SmackDown Live. Randy Orton's been part of one of the best stables in all of WWE history in Evolution. He even started Evolution on his own, or some form of it, with him as the leader, when he had Ted DiBiase Jr. and he had Cody Rhodes. WWE could do the same thing here. And WWE could not use it to bring up young talent, but get guys that are there who have promise up to the next level. WWE could easily set up a stable of 3 just like that. Just like a Triple H and Batista, with Ted DiBiase Jr. and Cody Rhodes. WWE can have a 2018-2019 version of that type of group. Or if you want to go back, give us a foursome. Give us a new 4 horsemen, per se. But not name the 4 horsemen, obviously. You don't want to dip into the nostalgia bag. But WWE could clearly come up with a stable of a trio or a foursome for Randy Orton to coincide with. What about aligning him with a Samoa Joe? What about aligning him with a Bobby Roode? Do you know how dead Bobby Roode is? Do you know what Bobby Roode could do as a heel? Do you know how good it would be if Bobby Roode was to be aligned with somebody as dastardly as Randy Orton to get him back where he needs to be? Can you imagine a stable of Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, and Samoa Joe just all wearing fucking snappy-ass fucking suits, standing there like they own the fucking joint? You want to make it a foursome? Let's put Almas in that foursome. Can you imagine a stable of Orton, Samoa Joe, Bobby Roode, and Andrade Cien Almas? You want to fucking call it Evolution. You want to call it the 4 Horsemen. You want to call it something fucking new and creative. You want to fucking come up with a new version of the Main Event Mafia. It doesn't fucking matter. Randy Orton is at a point right now where he is going to make literally everybody better that is around him. That's how good he is right now. Randy Orton is reaching untouchable-like fucking status with the body of work that he's doing right now. WWE knows how to book a heel. When they put their minds to it, and they put a pen to a paper or a finger to a fucking keyboard, WWE knows how to book a heel. When it comes to a babyface, it seems to get lost in translation. WWE should really, really, really think about taking what Randy Orton is doing right now and have that flow and feed that to somebody else who needs it. I think that would be fantastic. Randy Orton is doing some of the best work out of anybody in 2018, and he's not even booked at SummerSlam. Randy Orton once again explaining to everyone why he attacked Jeff Hardy, how he will become more violent to a point where, like I said, you as parents will want to change the channel and take your kids away from the TV. Like I said, I find it funny how I mentioned that same exact sentiment just last week, and now Randy Orton is here on this night on SmackDown Live uttering those same exact words. If Randy Orton continues on this path, it's going to be very difficult to not want to see him at the top of this show as world champion. Someone who is operating at this level will undoubtedly make every other babyface around him that much better. Randy Orton versus AJ Styles is looking pretty damn fucking impressive. Much better than what we got with babyface Randy Orton whenever that happened for the first time on SmackDown Live. I think I'm ready for it. I think you guys are ready for it too. Becky and Charlotte had a small exchange. Becky understood why Charlotte didn't want to rain on her parade, but it was Paige who made the match, and Charlotte took the opportunity. Becky explained this as being nothing new for her. This is something that she's been used to try and overcome another obstacle, as she's been doing it her entire career on SmackDown Live for as long as she's been on this show. And it may be the reason why they get along so well, because they both want the same thing. They both want to be number one. They both want to be women's champion. Last week I went into a rant about how I was angry that Becky wasn't getting the spotlight for herself at SummerSlam. This week, I'm a little bit more open to the idea. I honestly thought WWE was going to add Asuka. Now, they still got 1 week. They could still add Asuka to this thing. WWE could book the match of, Carmella going on and on and on about how I beat Charlotte twice, and how I beat Asuka twice, and I beat this one. WWE could still add Asuka to the SummerSlam card. How it is right now, I just don't believe how WWE... It's unreal to me how WWE doesn't have Sasha, Bayley, Asuka, and Ember Moon booked for this show. It's a little crazy if you think about it. The amount of talent that they have there. I'm not sure if Ruby Riott is ready to go. I'm even going to lump Ruby Riott into that. Ruby Riott's been the best female performer on Monday Night Raw since she's come up from NXT. I'm not even sure if she's ready to go, but to have Ruby Riott lumped into that, you're going to have those 5 women not appear at SummerSlam? I don't understand that. I think WWE should add Asuka to this match and make it a fatal 4-way. We don't have many multi-man matches on this show. So why not go the limit with this fatal 4-way and add Asuka? At least it would tie up loose ends. We get Becky even becoming more upset that now Asuka's added. We get the interaction with Becky and Asuka. Asuka and Charlotte. We get, just back and forth. Charlotte and Becky. That would filter out the disease known as Carmella. It would actually probably bring Carmella to more than a 1-star match. But I complained about Becky being, I guess, fucked over on last week's SmackDown Live review in a heated rant. And I'm looking at it differently this week. I don't mind that Charlotte is there. It's for the betterment of the story. And I was watching body language and I was watching facial expressions with Becky Lynch tonight. Not sure if it's going to play into anything, but the signs are there for something possibly to happen. If WWE wants to add Charlotte into this, I'm okay with it. It's going to be a much better match with Charlotte in there than if she wasn't there. There is an argument to add that WWE really didn't need to add Charlotte in this match. That a lot of everybody watching wanted to see Becky versus Carmella and Becky get her win that she most certainly deserves. And SummerSlam would have not suffered if Charlotte wasn't on the show. It would have no bearing on the overall rating for SummerSlam. But with Charlotte there, it is definitely going to become a much better match. Carmella may be actually better in that environment in a triple threat match instead of carrying half of the load with Becky. Now she only needs to carry 33.3% of the load. Whereas Charlotte and Becky could take probably more than that 33%. It could probably be 49-49 and then whatever is remaining over for Carmella. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm upset at it. I think it's going to be a better match, and I think it's going to play into the overall story, because what I seen with Becky tonight was the fact that in the tag team match with the Ikonics, the way it ended. Did you guys see how it ended? I even put it in my notes. Charlotte looked, awful as always coming off the top rope with that moonsault. She hit Peyton Royce and Billie Kay with a moonsault. And I don't know why she does the moonsault. And if she's going to continue doing the moonsault, she really needs to execute it a lot better. It is awful. Then she did the figure eight on Peyton Royce. Peyton Royce tapped out almost immediately. Now, at this point, Becky Lynch was on the ground in her corner, and she had what looked to be a disgusted look on her face. Now, I don't know if that was just her selling and her selling before the hot tag, but it looked like she had a disgusted look on her face, at least to me. Then when they celebrated and the announcement was made that they won the tag team match, Becky hugged Charlotte, and Becky looked as if she did not want to be bothered with that moment, and it looked like it genuinely bothered her that Charlotte, once again, is standing tall and is the reason for their win, taking Becky's spotlight. Winning that match when Becky could have easily felt that I could have did the same thing. Now, it may be nothing. It could be something leading to an eventual breakdown and Becky getting frustrated with having her spotlight being taken away by Charlotte. They even had a little backstage altercation after the match where they just played up the fact that Charlotte is bragging about how great they are as a team and how great they operate as a team. And then Charlotte went on to say that they will do that same thing, but as opponents, and go on to have a great match at SummerSlam. But Becky and her facial reaction and her facial expression when she did the little tea time hand gesture with Charlotte, she didn't want to be bothered. She was no nonsense, no bullshit. I don't give a shit who you are. I don't care what your relationship is to me. I'm taking that SmackDown Live Women's Championship. There's a part of me that wants Charlotte to win this match just so that we get Becky portrayed in a better light. I think Becky, and I mentioned this, I think Charlotte is going to remain a babyface even though she operates better as a heel. They're going to use her as a babyface because Charlotte has the Flair last name. WWE wants to use Charlotte for the promotional work for the Evolution show. They want her to do PR. So obviously you're not going to send a heel to do that work. Charlotte is going to be at the forefront mainly because of her last name being Flair. But if they can do this and operate Becky as a heel and just turn on the fan favorite in Charlotte, I think this is a change that Becky could definitely use. And Becky has come a long way since her days in NXT. Her acting is a little bit better. I think Becky as a heel could really channel that inner heel and really portray that I don't give a fuck, I deserve this fuck you type attitude. Obviously in the PG sense, but you guys know what I'm saying and where I'm going with that. So I think I'm going to sit back and enjoy this mainly because of Becky and Charlotte. Carmella right now is not even a factor to me. She can brag and boast and stand on the announce table all she wants and make fucking, catty-like hand gestures and all this other bullshit. Carmella is awful. She's god-awful. The title needs to come off her, and it needs to be positioned in a way where it's spotlighted with two women who could actually work. And right now, that is Becky and Charlotte. And I hope WWE goes that route. I thought AJ Styles, in his promo, actually had a lot of intensity. He had a real good fire. And he needed to after what Samoa Joe did and said last week. I appreciate the fact that they had Styles bring up the history between he and Samoa Joe. Living together, traveling together, working the same promotions together, working the indies together, how they know each other better than anybody inside the ring and out, how Joe knows Styles' wife personally. AJ went on and said that Joe, with what he said last week, he threw over a decade's friendship away at the simple fact of Joe mentioning Styles' family and personal life. Styles explained how he celebrated 16 years with his wife this year, how he missed birthdays, Little League games, and how he wishes he could be around that, but he is making his family life better by succeeding in the WWE. How when his children fall down, how he wants to be there to pick them up and wipe their tears away when they scrape their knee after a slight fall. And all the while, AJ's going on about how he had his feathers ruffled by what Joe said. WWE beautifully films Joe in the locker room watching this promo on a TV monitor, laughing. He is legitimately laughing in the locker room while he's watching Styles cut this promo on a TV monitor. And that's what sold the entire promo. That one visual of AJ Styles in the ring with Joe watching in the locker room laughing is all I needed. That is a great fucking visual. How AJ Styles is getting so worked up and Samoa Joe is just laughing at how now he's got AJ by the balls. He got into the mind. AJ is mind-fucked right now. And Joe doesn't even give a shit. There's no sweat off Joe's shoulders. A lot of people were wondering why WWE went the personal route with this storyline. A, it's going to make for a better WWE Championship match. Because these guys know each other. WWE's doing what they should have did with Nakamura and Styles with Joe and Styles. They didn't touch on Nakamura and AJ Styles' personal history together. And I don't know why. If they did, maybe the WrestleMania match would have been a little bit better than what we got. But the fact that they're going right for the kill with this Joe Styles feud and they're going the personal route, all the while making the WWE Championship that much more important, and it's only going to escalate after SummerSlam because I don't think Joe is going to win here. This is brilliant. This is the right story to tell. Joe and Styles are no stranger to one another. They probably wrestled each other more times than they can count. You don't go into this as if, oh, it never happened. No, you absolutely bring to the fucking table that these two know each other better than anybody in that locker room. And that's what you're going to sell this entire feud on. And that's how you're going to structure this match. I don't want something that's starting from the ground up, and I don't want WWE to neglect history, or I don't want AJ Styles to not reference his relationship with Joe, or I don't want Joe to not be Joe. You are not going to handcuff Joe and have him not cut a promo like he did last week, because that's where Joe thrives. That's the Joe we want to see. We want to see the Joe that doesn't give a shit. And that's exactly what we got here. Just based off what we've seen with the contract signing and Joe sneak attacking him, Joe cutting that personal promo last week, to AJ Styles now coming off as hot and bothered, intense, all fired up with Joe laughing as if Joe feels like he mind-fucked AJ Styles. This is brilliant. God knows what they got planned for the go-home show, but all I could tell you is with 3 weeks, I'm invested. Normally, I sit here and I tell you, I'm not really invested in a match that they just signed 4 weeks out for a SummerSlam WWE Championship match. But the fact that it's AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, two of my most favorite guys on the entire roster, and the fact that WWE right now has played every card perfectly with this feud, I am invested in this match, whereas the rest of SummerSlam's card, I cannot say the same thing for. This is fantastic stuff. And WWE right now is really doing the right thing for both Styles and Samoa Joe. Aiden English and Rusev Day. WWE continues to tease the fact that Aiden English is about to just cause a separation from Lana and Rusev. Lana and Rusev want to believe Aiden English. But Aiden English, the more he tries to help, he continues to screw over Lana and Rusev. We got a Selena Vega versus Lana match again for a second week in a row. Normally, I would frown upon that, but this is for a storyline and for a potential mixed tag team match at SummerSlam. That's where I think WWE is going to go with this, and I think that's the best possible outcome for all four people in this current storyline, minus Aiden English. I've been very hard on Lana, and ever since Money in the Bank, she's gotten just a teeny bit better. And I am a one who I feel has a knack for talent. I like to see progression. And I honestly feel, and some may get salty over this next comment, I honestly feel that Lana did more in her match with Zelina Vega tonight than I've seen Alexa Bliss do in every match she's been in this year. And I don't know how many people feel about that, but I do feel just a little bit that Lana is getting a little bit better. She's showing a different side of intensity. She isn't really prancing around as a blonde Barbie doll in there. She's actually getting down and dirty. She's taking pumps. She's doing bulldogs. She's doing DDTs. She's being physical. It's very difficult not to notice. And I can appreciate that. All I ever want is for someone to get better and love what they do. Lana clearly has been practicing. And Rusev being there, now you involve both of them with Vega and Almas. I think that is the makings for a perfect opening match to SummerSlam. Where they fit Aiden English into this, I don't know, but I like the way that WWE had Aiden English apologize. Rusev and Lana accepted his apology. Rusev kindly says, brother, I love you, but I think it's time for you to stay back here tonight. I don't think you're needed out there. I think it's best if you stay in the back. But Aiden English didn't listen. He betrayed Rusev's trust. Rusev told him something, and Aiden English went into business for himself. That's where the issue will be now. Not the fact that he fucked over Lana, because they could look at the replay and see that Aiden English only had good intentions. It's the fact that Aiden English now disobeyed Rusev by coming to the ring when Rusev strictly said, stay here. I have this. He disobeyed Rusev and he went into business for himself to try and help where he felt like he could do something Rusev could not. That's going to get underneath Rusev's skin a little bit more. And I'm really enjoying this storyline. Where they go with Aiden English from here, I don't know. He even said it himself tonight. I don't know where I would be without you guys. I don't know, man. We'll see what happens, but I'm liking this storyline. Vega and Almas have a little bit more momentum, even though it was I would say a fuck finish. But it tied into the overall story, and we're going to get a mixed tag team match, I presume, at SummerSlam with Rusev and Lana teaming up against Almas and Vega. And I think that's the right way to go here. But it was a very good match for what it was. I'm not saying it was fucking going to tear a building down. It wasn't going to be a fucking 5-star masterpiece. But Lana is getting a little bit better, and it all played into the overall storyline very nicely with the way the ending was constructed. There was I don't know. I wish WWE had it on their YouTube channel, and I'm going to look live as I'm recording this right now. R-Truth probably had the biggest laugh out loud moment in all of WWE all year, man. Just by this one backstage altercation with Shinsegae Nakamura. I would love to see more of R-Truth. Absolutely. I think the guy has potential. I think the guy has been vastly underutilized. And I think as far as a babyface comedy guy goes, I think he could really have some real, I guess, crowd momentum behind him. He makes people laugh and he's not that bad in the ring whatsoever. Fans actually enjoy R-Truth. But we get R-Truth wanting to challenge Shinsegae Nakamura for the United States Championship at SummerSlam. And I don't know if this was a dig at Carmella by WWE Creative, but Shinsegae Nakamura asked, and how on earth are you going to do that? And he's like, just the way everybody else is getting title shots around here, by beating Carmella. I laughed out loud for the first time all day. And that put a legit smile on my face, man. That was fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Ty Dillinger's over there, and he's like, no speak Japanese. Nakamura then said something to R-Truth in Japanese, and Truth continues to play dumb. He's not stepping in the ring with Renee, he said. Nakamura walks off after shenanigans and says something in Japanese, and Ty wants to know, what did he say in Japanese? And R-Truth was like, well, I can't repeat that live on television. I can't repeat that here. Fucking hilarious stuff, man. WWE would be foolish not to put that on their YouTube channel, man. That was legit LOL for SmackDown Live tonight. We had an interview with The Miz. Byron Saxton was conducting this interview from the ring, and The Miz was backstage with his Miz and Mrs. set with his two bodyguards. And he was on location, apparently. Miz rants on the success of Miz and Mrs. Just goes on to plug the show. Byron asks about SummerSlam with the match with Daniel Bryan. It was just announced. I don't like how WWE does these things. They just throw it out there for Twitter and YouTube. And, you know, instead of announcing something like that first on the show and then going to social media, WWE wants to hype it up and brag about it on social media and then do it on the show. Byron Saxton asked, why aren't you physically in the ring with me? And are you afraid of Daniel Bryan? Is that the reason why you got two bodyguards with you offset? And The Miz was like, Byron, what type of questions are these? And this is exactly why you're a third-rate commentator. I laughed at that as well. I could do a better job than Byron Saxton. Miz goes on to say how successful he is, how busy he's been, how Bryan has been obsessing over him since their NXT days back in 2010. Miz says he will happily embarrass Bryan at SummerSlam. Miz has carried the subpar Bryan on his back since day one. He's tired of it. He's done sharing the spotlight with those that don't deserve it. Miz says he's not hiding from anyone and will expose Daniel Bryan for what he is at SummerSlam and what he's always been, beneath the Miz. Miz says that he is good enough to be WWE Champion. He should be leading this show as WWE Champion. Miz continues on and says Bryan, continues to insult Bryan. And then all of a sudden, we get Bryan coming out of nowhere and attacking the Miz from the back. He unloads, he starts fighting off the security guards, and the Miz is on standby in the back, and he smashes a vase, a flower pot or vase over his head, and he knocks Daniel Bryan out, and he and the bodyguards hurry the Miz out of the room, trying to protect him from this lunatic known as Daniel Bryan. So for the first time, Bryan had enough of the Miz. He wanted to get his hands on the Miz, and his emotions, kind of playing into that Johnny Gargano role right now. His emotions got the best of him. He wanted to get to the Miz so badly that he risked himself to get to the Miz, knowing that it was a 3-on-1 situation with the bodyguards there, and the Miz took advantage of the overzealous and the over-emotional Daniel Bryan. So that is going to be one of the other few matches that I am actually invested in at SummerSlam. We got Joe versus Styles, and we got The Miz versus Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam. Probably the only two matches that I legitimately care about on August 19th. Other than that, man, I think we went over all the top stories from SmackDown Live. It was a decent show. It flowed very well. The highlight of the show for me was definitely Randy Orton's promo and that main event with the Bar and the New Day. Overall, it was a very good episode of SmackDown Live that furthered SmackDown Live more so than Monday Night Raw for SummerSlam. SmackDown Live is doing so much better for their SummerSlam build than whatever Monday Night Raw is doing. And like I said on Raw Review last night, I am not excited about anything coming out of Raw. I feel like WWE has half-assed everything and really have shown their true colors, as always, by putting legitimately all their resources into Roman Reigns while neglecting everything else on Monday Night Raw's side. And Roman Reigns, Lesnar's up here, and everything else is not even legitimately close at this point. That's an issue. Everything else should be given equal care and equal amount of time to feel somewhat important. A lot of things on SmackDown Live are looking very important. The Women's Championship with Becky and Charlotte, important. Rusev and Almas. You know, it's an undercard match, but I'm sitting here telling you that I'm intrigued by what they got going on. Bryan Miz, obviously there's investment there. The New Day, after tonight's performance with the Bar, they have piqued just a little bit of my interest against the Bludgeon Brothers at SummerSlam. We got Randy Orton and what he's doing right now with Jeff and Shinsegae Nakamura. I'm more interested in what Randy Orton's going to be doing at SummerSlam. He's not even booked on the fucking show. And then you got Styles and Joe. Self-explanatory. You know? What happened, baby? See, even she is pissed off at Monday Night Raw. Anyway, let me go over these results real fast, man, before we get the hell out of here. The Ikonics versus Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. Self-explanatory. Nobody gives a fuck about the Ikonics at this point. They're going nowhere. They're not factoring into anything important right now. This furthered Charlotte and Becky going into SummerSlam and beyond. The Ikonics here, they lose. Peyton Royce, like I mentioned earlier, tapped out to the figure 8. And that was the victory there for Charlotte and Becky Lynch. We have Lana versus Selena Vega. I really enjoyed the ending of this match, and it really should be setting up the mixed tag team match that I'm presuming will happen at SummerSlam. We had Almas and Rusev on the outside. Rusev was there in Lana's corner. Almas was wearing his patented suit and looked sharp as ever. We had Almas and Rusev fighting on the outside, and Aiden English tried to come down and stop Almas from interfering in the match to help Vega win. So he tackles Almas off of Rusev, and he drags him, or spears him almost, into the ring post while Lana's climbing up. The, I guess, impact of the spear from English on Almas knocked Lana off the top rope, and then Zelina Vega did a Meteora in the corner, the double knees in the corner, and she pinned Lana and escaped with a victory. And obviously, Rusev and Lana are going to blame Aiden English for that loss. So that was the way that one ended. Zelina Vega wins again over Lana. And it looks like we're setting up Lana and Rusev to get the victory over Zelina Vega and Almas at SummerSlam. Shinsegae Nakamura versus R-Truth. This one won by Shinsegae Nakamura. We had a reverse exploder suplex. Very academic here. Exploder suplex. And then we get a Kinshasa for the victory here. Shinsegae Nakamura beating R-Truth. Never going to have R-Truth win a match, especially with Nakamura being the United States champion going into a championship defense against Jeff Hardy at SummerSlam. The Bludgeon Brothers versus Pavel Kozlov, Aquila Lee, I think his name was, and Julio Rivera. 3 bums, 3 nobodies. One of them looked like Tom Araya from Slayer with the fucking black hair and the gray beard. I don't know what the fuck was going on here. I don't know where these guys came from. But Bludgeon Brothers completely dominated these guys. Just destroyed them. You didn't expect anything else here. Bludgeon Brothers win, dominating their opponents here. After the match, Harper and Rowan stand tall with their titles, showing how dominant they are. And then the finals of the tag team tournament, which I wish WWE would have invested more teams into this tournament. Have 8 teams instead of 4. It would have been a lot better and would have been much more spotlight on the tag team titles. But they did 4 instead of the 8. The Bar versus the New Day, man. This was a great fucking tag team match. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is the type of tag team match I want to see on the main roster. We get Big E at the end of this thing. Crawls from the bottom rope, or crawls for the bottom rope, rather. Cesaro pulls him back into the middle of the ring. Sheamus stops Kofi from pulling Big E to the bottom rope. Kofi counters this, hits a big DDT on the floor, taking out Sheamus. Big E overpowers and crawls for the bottom rope. Cesaro switches, turns it into a crossface, bringing Big E back to the middle of the ring. I believe Cesaro had the crossface and Big E tried to get out of it. That's why Kofi was trying to drag him to the bottom rope, but he just switched and turned it into a crossface, bringing Big E back to the middle of the ring. Big E powers up to his feet. The hold is still applied here by Cesaro. Big E holds Cesaro, still with the hold applied. Kofi tags in, goes to the top. Midnight Hour on Cesaro. Kofi covers for the pin, and they get the title shot at SummerSlam. So the New Day is going on to become the #1 contenders for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. Cesaro did hit the Cesaro swing on Big E and then locked in the sharpshooter. One of the highlights of that match on Big E. So you can see how after the 2-month hiatus that the Bar got right back into the swing of things, man. Definitely one of the best tag teams in the WWE. And I love how they work and act together. Like I said, the reason why the New Day won this thing is because WWE went with the safe route with the over baby faces going against the, I guess, I wouldn't say they are the buried heels, but they have no momentum as heels right now. And WWE feels like if they put the New Day in there with them, that they would at least garner some type of reaction in New York City. So that is my SmackDown Live review, man. Very good show leading into SummerSlam. And like I said, SmackDown Live is doing a very, very admirable job for their portion of SummerSlam build heading into New York City. Thank you guys so very much, man. I'm going to get out of here. I do want to announce that the SummerSlam t-shirts are coming very soon. They should be on the store tomorrow. Follow me on Twitter, at JDFROMNY206. As soon as you hear notification on Twitter to go buy them, I would appreciate you guys going support, man. You will get them before SummerSlam if you order immediately. So I hope you guys do that. SummerSlam t-shirts will be on sale at barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. And I want to make sure you guys check out all the other videos that have appeared on my channel. If you guys missed Monday Night Raw review, Off the Script went up on Monday afternoon as well. We did Off the Script on Monday afternoon and then Monday Night Raw on Monday night. So both of those videos from yesterday are live on the channel right now. For you OG guys, Black Ops 4, my first beta game ever. Live commentary on the channel right now. Make sure you guys go and check that out. And if you missed anything else, everything else you need will be linked in the annotation that you see in the top right corner of your screen. And if you guys are interested to know, I will be working with Solomonster on August 17th in New York City, Queens to be exact, for House of Glory's High Intensity 7. August 17th, him and I will be doing a huge pre-show right before the event goes live at 7 p.m. If you guys want tickets to this, if you're going to be in the New York City area, hogwrestling.net. Also, keep an eye out. I will probably be having a meet and greet myself on that Saturday, the very next day, in Brooklyn, 4 blocks from the Barclays Center at some craft beer spot. Haven't nailed it down yet, but I want to make sure you guys are aware of that. So, thank you guys so very much for everything, man. I'm getting out of here. This has been SmackDown Live Review. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Probably a little off-the-script extra, and then NXT. And then we will talk about the remaining stories on Off the Script this coming weekend for episode 234. And another Call of Duty Black Ops 4 beta gameplay coming on Thursday for you guys as well, right before the beta hits us again for Friday. Thank you guys so very much. Hit that thumbs up. It really helps out the video and the channel. Make sure you guys subscribe down below, and I will see you guys tomorrow with OTS Extra and NXT Review. Talk to you later.